Morning from Vancouver. This is Hernan Rodriguez, Executive Director with Experior Financial Group. Today is Friday. It's Friday, 10th of May. And in Mexico, 10th of May is Mother's Day. So as a Mexican, I say thank you to all the mothers in the world and thank you to all the mothers in the Icebreakers team, because without you, we would not be here, and we owe everything to our mothers. So thank you very much, and happy Mother's Day, okay? I send you kisses to all of you mothers. So that's the first thing that I want to say today. The other one is we have a class that we have a few different members of the team helping us on Fridays. It's an English class. And, a lot of times we have Steve teaching us a lot of things, with his experience, Stephen Edge, about different products, different techniques, to look after the clients better. Jacqueline Van Horn, that is here too, she also jumps in and teaches classes to us in different aspects of digital marketing and tools, same as Jane Hanford. I thank you all. We're going to be inviting and always encourage our team members that know about a subject. It doesn't have to be necessarily just in financial products or services. It could be anything else that can help us, because we believe in collective intelligence, okay? Collective intelligence is number one. And so we always learn from each other. Also, we have here Jeannie O'Leary. So with all your experience, Jeannie, I could just pass the microphone to you, and I know that you could just give us just not an hour, but maybe the whole day of classes. Okay, so for anyone that is watching this on social media, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And if you are in any other MGA in Canada or an IMO in the USA, this is just a small taste of what we do here, not only at Experior Financial Group, but at the Icebreakers Team of Champions, which is the fastest growing trilingual team with Experior Financial Group in the USA, Canada, and Puerto Rico. And today we are going to have a session of, let's say, maybe even question and answers, and that's very, very important. And it's going to be in both sides. But since there are people in this call that know a lot more than me in financial solutions, what I want to focus today is into what I can bring you more value, okay? Which is why Experior, and, why not another IMO and another MGA? And I will also ask some of you that I know are also having some really good successes. How are you doing things? Because this opportunity from the point of view of an entrepreneur in financial services is great, okay? Because many of you, and all of you actually, have your choice and many choices of where to run your business, both as a personal producer and as a team builder. But we have, people that have been teaching others and even producing in other companies for many years, and they are here now. So I'm gonna pass the microphone to Jeannie O'Leary and ask her, okay, we're gonna limit the time because it's many of us, and I wanna give some tips too. And ask Jeannie if you can please share with us really briefly an introduction again of your experience in the industry, and why did you decided to join Experior Financial Group and the Icebreakers Team of Champions? Go ahead, Jeannie.
All right. Thanks so much, Hernan. And hello, everybody. I think I know everybody. And Steve, nice to get reconnected with you again. I would say for someone like me who was a sales executive in the two largest companies in Canada, I'm at a point in my life, and I'm going to use my life because it's a very personal choice. I think when you decide to join Experior or any other IMO, I'm learning, Hernan, IMO or MGA, and I think it's really about what is your vision at this time in your life and the future. And I am going to say this live and on recording. I am 54 years old. Okay. So it is not, I am not in my 30s or my 40s or my 20s. And my vision is really to be able to use a lot of this experience, and for all of the women here, and this is not to take away from the men, to use all of this experience and say, look, the reality of our industry is the fact that there are less insurance focused professionals and insurance agents coming in. There are few places that are growing it. And the people who are coming in their first 2 to 3 years of business, they're just trying to survive. And in that period of survival, I really feel that there is an incredible mentoring opportunity for anybody that has experience, right? So it means they're serious enough, they're licensed, they're producing, they're not yet at a certain level, but I can mentor, I can help mentor, and I can get them to a place, especially the women, because we care. Thank you for the Happy Mother's Day. We care about so many people all the time. It is a natural fit for me. And I am not, Hernan, I'm going to say this because I super appreciate him and Annie. The two of them do not come to me on a constant basis and say, where is your production? Where are your recruits? What are you doing? Because they respect that, they know I'm self-motivated. So, and I'm self-motivated to mentor. That's why I want to build. So that's my story. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jeannie. And we appreciate you sharing because there are many people who need to hear these stories. Okay. And that's great. Thank you. I know that you're going to be teaching us a lot as well. Not only your direct team that you're building and that you will be building over time, but just with the other members of the team and Experior. And Princess, how are you doing today? Can you hear us?
Hi,
How are you, Princess?
all's good.
Great. Oh, there you go. There you are. I am a fan of Princess in many ways, but in TikTok, she has the best videos. And I always get hungry when she's cooking because I can tell that she makes the best food for her family. So, Princess, I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the call, but today is Mother's Day for the Mexican mothers, and I'm Mexican, so happy Mother's Day, okay? Because for all the mothers in the world, I hope that you're having a great day with your family. Princess, can you please also share with everyone just a little bit of who you are, your experience in the industry before you join Experior, and why you join Experior? That way, this will help others out in social media to know. Thank you.
Yeah. So for me, I was with Sun Life for the last 4 years. So they are my starting company. But what happened for me is that I am seeing that because I was only on a specific company and I cannot insure other people in terms of health and in terms of residency status. There are lots of people who's looking for insurance need, but because of that hindrance for me, I wasn't able to help some people who specifically chose me. And as a life insurance agent, if you really wanted to help, you wanted to make sure you have variety of options to help those people because they already trusted you. So they're asking for your help specifically. So from that point on, I check on being a broker instead of working for a specific company.
Thank
So
you.
hopefully
That's
that
great.
helps.
Thank you. And also you're building a team. You have a member in your team now as well, and you're helping your community directly because
Yeah.
Felicitas is also from your community. So that's great. Thank you so much for sharing. Now we are gonna ask a person who just joined us not too long ago, and she's doing a great job in the United States. She is in Boston, Massachusetts, and she is the champion, Kirsten Martin. And Kirsten, I'd like you to please let us know as well who you are briefly, and your experience in the industry and why you decided to join Experior Financial Group and specifically the Team of Champions, the Icebreakers. Go ahead,
So
Kirsten,
first of
and you're
all,
doing
I want to
great.
make clear, I am not sending any money. I mean, Hernan's not paying me any money for what I'm about to say about him. But the biggest thing, there's so many things, but I started in this industry with a captive in 4 years ago in 2020. And each time I moved, it was a little better, but every time there was still something missing. And it has to do with different things, a little bit of integrity here or there. Like I'm very global, and in those other places, it was like a fish out of water. And I had something really bad happen to me in February, which won't go there. And I got desperate to like really make a change. And I'm not kidding. I don't think Hernan existed until that night because he came off my vision board, literally 10 o'clock at night. In 15 minutes, he brought me over. But what it is and what I've experienced since February is like Ginny's said, he's never called me up. What are you doing? Well, sometimes he calls me up. What are you doing? You know, the good thing is Hernan is tough. Don't mistake his kindness for not being really tough and professional. But I need that. I need feedback to what I need to get better in the right way. But also he like calls me a champion. And I'm like, the last place I was number 2 producer out of 600 agents. I put on the board like $475,000, but I still was always having to like prove myself. I was always felt like I was in the doghouse. Here, I didn't even do anything. And he was already treating me like Annie was, like somebody that was really worth a lot, you know, and it makes a difference. Your mindset is your responsibility, but the people around you believing in you, but going beyond that, not just believing in you, because belief's great, but giving you the resources, giving you the tools, you know. And so through the top 4 things is, first of all, guys, we don't have any other global this doesn't exist anywhere else. Come from Canada, in the United States, going to Mexico, you know, eventually Brazil and elsewhere, but so global and walking the walk. So the materials are in Spanish, materials in French, right? But then also the transparency, the absolute openness, and third, the collaboration. The other thing I got in trouble with at the other places, I was always trying to collaborate with people, and I got in trouble because this person got jealous because I was working with this person, and this, you know, it was like against the kind of rules. They talked about collaboration, but they didn't do it, right? From day one, Hernan was telling me, I'm introducing you to this person, and Annie introduced me to Ginny and different people. And it's like, it's a lot of work for any one of us. There's so much money to make and so many people to help. By doing it together and sharing, it's better for everyone, right? So, but that's easy to think that. I've never been in a place which is even more than me collaborating, you know? And so the final thing about Experior, I just realized like a few days ago, I've been drinking through a fire hose. I can't believe it's going to take me days to look at the training Hernan's already done, and he's still making more, but like just in the Telegram and in the Heartbeat app and on YouTube and on Facebook, there's so much content generated by the person who brought me on board. So I don't have, you know, if he doesn't have the content, he knows where to get it, right? And Annie too, I'm including Annie's. And then also I'm looking at you, Jane, okay, like the Technology Wednesday, you know, you're so good at marketing, you know, like all you people are encouraged to contribute. And Steve, I do know who you are because you've been on, like, I'm sorry, you've been the host of a lot of Zooms. So anyway, just the point is, you know, yeah. And just here we are, small, and I'm thinking like there should be 80 people on here, but it's okay. There's only 12. Better for us to have this intimate opportunity, you know, to just have time with Hernan. So, and I promise you, Hernan's not paying me anything to say all that stuff, and that's all I got for right now. I'm very lucky to be here.
Thank you so much for sharing. And also, I can see your team is growing so like crazy now in a short time. So if we have time at the end of this hour, I'd like you to share as well, because in a short time, you have been able to bring, collaborating with others, quite a bit of people, and you're doing great. Okay, so thank you for that. Now I'm gonna pass the microphones to Mr. Stephen H., who has a world of knowledge here, and he knows so many advisors all over the place. I think he even knows people in Boston, Kirsten. So maybe you can talk to Steve because he's been everywhere. and you guys can build together over there. So, Steve, can you please let us know about yourself and why you are here in Experior?
I'll try and keep it short. It's been a long time in the industry. But yeah, I've been to Boston 3 times. Actually, I went with MFS, which is a subsidiary of Sun. And so I've spent quite a bit of time there. Great city, good sports town too. Yeah, like most of you guys, I started off like with Hernan with a proprietary company. And again, yeah, you're kind of limited on the products there. I was a manager, so I had a lot of people under me. It was very, very intense job. Also, I managed my own clients as well. And then when I finally left, I wanted to, as somebody else alluded to, I think Princess, I wanted to do different types of products other than the ones that were just available on the shelf. And then you do that and you become an independent and you're completely by yourself. I remember, an investors group, if, somebody did a big case or whatever, you did a big amount of money. Yeah, everybody knew it. You knew exactly how much people were making because they put it up on the board and, they build a statue for you if you did a great month or year or whatever, where you're independent and nothing. You're by yourself. It's a very lonely situation. The only people you're talking to are your clients. So you're going from one thing to the other. So what I was looking for was something more than that. I wanted to give back and mentor like Ginny was talking about. I didn't want to directly become an executive director, kind of manage people. At my age, I've done that, So I'm more of a mentor role. So if anything happens as far as these cases that are, especially on the investment side, what I do find with a lot of our advisors on the insurance side is they don't understand investments, so they haven't been exposed to them at all. And especially if we're doing universal lives as well, there's an investment component in there. So we really need to be careful with those. We can't just, do the policy and leave it alone, similar to more of a term type policy. So that's one of the issues. And Hernan and I were interviewing a guy a couple of weeks ago as a referral. He's looking at joining a different company, and we sat down with him, and we're just like, why are you going there? He didn't know. He's from Lebanon. He's an insurance lawyer, actually, so very smart guy. He didn't know. He didn't know that what we have to offer is we have better compensation. But the main thing, and I think this too, is you own your clients. How many companies let you own your clients? And ultimately, with myself, I'm not retiring right now, but I know from a retirement perspective, when you sell your book, nobody pays as much as Experior. So that's another factor as well when you're looking down the line. I know most of the people on the call are probably not thinking that, but one of the ways in this business now is it's very difficult to generate things organically. You can, of course. But it's good to buy a book. I bought books over the years, lots of times. And in most cases, it works out really well. And so you're adding to your organic efforts, but also you've got somebody that wants to retire and you take over their clients. And so that's great. So the average age in British Columbia, I'm sure it's the rest of Canada and probably in the US, of an insurance agent is 62. So they're looking at retiring at some point, maybe in the next 5 to 10 years. So, I go to a lot of seminars and, there's a lot of gray hair there, so that's always a good way to maybe recruit people over with the idea of, look, this is a good place to come, even if you're thinking of retiring down the line, because our payouts are so much higher than any of the other MGAs that are available in Canada. So, I could go on and on and on, but, basically why I joined Experior was more, I like working with Hernan. I want to give back. I want to mentor. So that's really kind of all I have to say today.
Thank you, Steve. And you are a great mentor. So again, for the ones of you who were not at the beginning of the call, Steve is not only one of my oldest friends, like for amount of time here in Canada for over 20 years, but he was my mentor. He's still my mentor in financial services. He knows a lot more than me for like strategies. Like he is like an encyclopedia about all these things. and he's a very sociable person, of course. I had a chance to work with him for a brief time at IDC before COVID, and so we were doing calls into the homes of his clients. We were actually, Steve was super nice as always. He was splitting business with me. I was helping him to digitalize his book of business because, as you can imagine, Jeannie, with experience, there's a lot of agents who have like crates of cardboard and those old crates of milk with so many thousands of files. So we were doing that, and it's always well, I don't know if always, but a lot of big cases with Steve. I remember a case where we made with a client of Steve like $15,000 each on a policy for whole life. It was great for estate planning and everything. So I actually like to suggest, before I forget, that Jeannie, you and Steve collaborate here in the Lower Mainland, and we can get some seminars, for people to come over, because if they know that Steve and you are gonna be speakers in a seminar, for sure you can bring a lot of people on, and qualified clients as well as advisors. So we have to hedge on each other that way. Maybe you should also do some live streaming together. I can organize it as well. That's going to be great for your businesses and for collaboration. That's excellent. And I want to also share that actually, Steve, Tony is also part of your downline, as many others. So it was yesterday or the day before, I was chatting with some agents from Sun Life, actually, as well, in Ontario. They've been trainers in Sun Life. I'm pretty sure that you must know them, Jeannie. I'm not going to say the names here because they haven't made a decision yet to come, but they decided to leave. So they are now shopping for MGAs in Canada, okay, where to go. And, they were letting us know the reasons and everything. And so we have ways to bring people that, of course, are only going to be producers. That's like a private conversation with some of them, right? It's not just the standard way of Experior, but we can do something special for them, or we can give them the option to build teams. But when I mentioned to them, Steve, and it's so good and so powerful, at least in Canada, because I'm not so sure in the US how it is on the book of business buyout. But when I let them know, because they are, I believe they are in their early 50s, okay, but they have a lot of experience, maybe 10, 15 years. And, I asked them, have you ever thought about leaving the industry in the future, right? Because if they only want to do personal production, at some point they're going to retire, because we all, will reach an age that we cannot write any more business, right? And so they told me, yeah, we have thought about it. I said, so what is your exit strategy at that point? Are you going to sell your book in Canada? Because a lot of people believe they're going to get 5 times, but the reality is that they're going to get low ball at the end. Everybody's throwing you a low ball offer, and it's going to be like 2 years of the renewals. Maybe you can correct me, Steve, because you have sold books before.
Yeah, well, right now too, I mean, there's going to be a lot of advisors that are going to be retiring over the next few years.
Yeah.
But it really, from an advisor perspective, what you want to do, I want to do a session on this, and maybe invite these guys in. It's a company called Life Design Analysis. And what they do is you send your rep codes for all the different insurance companies you deal with, and they download everything onto a platform for all your clients. Now, this is not for newer reps, obviously, but let's say you've been in the business for a long time. I got like 600 clients. So what happens is you don't know them all. You kind of lose track of them. So what it does is it puts every single client that you have on the system. So there's a CRM system, so you can make notes, of course, but there's an AI component as well. So what it does is it actually looks at all the clients you have, all the term policies, kind of comes up and says, maybe you should do a renewal on this one. It actually puts a proposal together for you. It's amazing. So I just started doing this in about the last month or so. So I'm in the process of doing this right now. I think it's a great idea for any advisor to do that, because if you systematize your business, you will get 5 times. If you, like, I looked at one guy, great guy, and he's a friend of mine, he's 85 years old. I looked at his business. I didn't take it. It was so, like, it was ridiculous how all the stuff was with different companies and nothing was systematized. And, you know, yeah, granted, I want to take the top 20% of his customers, but the other 80%, I would have, like, you know, just, I wouldn't even bother. So what happens is you've got to create a business that is saleable.
That's right.
And it makes sense. So it's a turnkey operation. So, you know, usually what happens is you say, okay, well, I'll stick around for 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, and I'll introduce you to the clients, and I'll help you with questions and just kind of ease out of the picture. So, but if you don't do that, yeah, you know, you're looking at 2 times, 2.5 times. That's pretty standard as far as trailers go.
That's right. Thank you, Stephen. And the more advisors retire in Canada and the US, there is going to be a lot more offer than the demand, and they're going to start lowballing them more and more. But in Experior, you know, if an agent is with Experior, whether they build their book here or whether they transfer their book, at least on the Canadian side, then I'll get the answer for the US. But if someone brings their book, after that book is here, because Experior has an excess of capital to buy the books and help the advisors move with their book over here, okay? So once that book of business is here for 5 years, and then the agent wants to retire, Experior, you know, pays a lot more. I believe it's about 7.5 times. So 7.5 times versus 2. Man, it's a great way to have advisors come over, and that's another tool, Jeannie, that we should always use with advisors, okay? Because just on that side is super powerful. So thank you. And now I like to ask Janice as well to share a little bit of her experience on this industry, because I know that she has experience in the industry in another niche, but still in insurance. And what is it that made you join Experior Financial Group? And Janice, let us know where you're joining us from in this call in Zoom.
I'm calling you from Bradenton, Florida. It's a beautiful 87, 88 degree sunny day. But I spent most of my life in Boston. Went to graduate school with Kirsten, so that's where our connection is. But like Ginny, I started my career at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts. So I was dealing with many companies and brokers, but only with, you know, health products, basically, a few dental products. And eventually I wanted to branch out and be able to work with more companies. So I went over to the broker side, but I was doing group insurance. So I've done group insurance, you know, at a lot of the big broker consultants like Marsh McLennan, Mercer, Aon, Wells Fargo, and a few more. But mostly do the same kind of thing as an account executive. Excuse me, doing service and renewals and some sales support. Sorry, I have a cold. And I left my last employer in January, decided that I no longer wanted to do the big corporate thing, and wanted to try to develop some business on my own. When Kirsten happened to call me one day out of the blue, and while I was sitting around trying to think of what am I going to do next, because I was not ready to retire yet, and it sounded like, you know, she did a good sales pitch, and it sounded so interesting that I said, okay, tell me more. So, you know, little by little, it took us, I think, about 2 weeks to get to for me to get to a decision. I am sometimes guilty of over preparing and over researching. So, you know, I wanted to get all my ducks in a row first before I made the decision, but I just couldn't resist. It seems like such a good opportunity. And Hernan, you were among the first people I met, you and Annie, so supportive. There were so many resources. It's really at the beginning overwhelming. There's so much to learn and so much to do, but the opportunity is the most, I think, important. There's several directions you can go in, either singularly or at the same time, and I think it's just an awesome opportunity. So I'm listening with avidly to everyone that's speaking here and what their backgrounds are and how they are succeeding here, so I can do the same.
Thank you so much, Janice. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to have all of you here. But when we bring someone, or when you join Experior with so much experience, we really appreciate it a lot because all of you are mentors to all of us. So thank you for sharing that. I like to ask Jane Hanford as well to introduce herself, let us know where you are calling us from, and if you were before in the industry, who you were with. There is nothing wrong about saying the names of the companies we were with. We all appreciate where we came from. I do believe this is the evolution of the broker system, the IMOs and the MGAs. That's why we call it the IMO and the MGA of the future. So go ahead, Jane, let us know why you joined as well.
Oh, thanks, Hernan. So I'm one of these newbies to the industry. I'm just starting my 3rd year, so I'm still in survival mode, but I have so many resources here. So I started out in the industry as a captive agent with a company called AIL, and I'm forever grateful for the great training that I received there, but not a good fit. It was like, you have to buy this today. And that's just not me. I'm an educator. I was actually 15 years an educator in the beauty industry. So I come from an education point. So I really like the idea of bringing the financial literacy of the world up. That's one of my missions. But here with Experior, oh my gosh, I specifically joined the Icebreakers because of you and Annie. Because like Ginny says, you're never like hovering over me saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. You just give me room to fly. And what I'm good at, you let me do it. That's just right. Love it. And the transparency of this company and the whole basis of, the integrity of this company is so unusual in the industry. And I encourage everybody to have a look at Experior.
Thank you so much, Jane. That's awesome, and we are all very proud of you. And yes, you are, quite new to the industry, but you're taking all the right steps, and we are here to support you and all of you. And now that lets me ask Jacqueline Van Horn, a champion, and I see how you've been growing your team also. You can let them know where you are and where you have a few team members and where you came from, Jacqueline. Thank you.
Well, I'm here in sunny Pitt Meadows, which is about an hour east of Vancouver. I'm pretty new to the industry. I've only been an agent for a year and a half. And I worked with Jane in our practice company, American Income Life. It didn't work well for me. So when Jane had the opportunity to join Annie, she brought me with her, and I am forever thankful that I'm a part of Annie and Hernan's team. And I have teammates in Ontario and one in Virginia, and Iragama, who's on the call with us today. She's in Washington. And I just met with a young lady from Surrey yesterday, and it looks like she might be joining us. So, things are coming along. I ordered a retractable banner, and it arrived, and I'll be putting that in 2 local farmers markets over the summer.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Jacqueline. We are very proud of you. Especially, I am super proud of you because I see how you're expanding, and it's just a matter of being constant, and also patience is something that counts a lot, especially in the attraction side of the business, because suddenly things can snowball. Annie mentioned to me that there is also a team, I don't remember from where, but she was speaking with some licensed agents with you, and I'll chat with her. Remind me later, because if any of you can call me anytime, especially to help you bring those licensed agents. That's my specialty. So let's follow up on them. And now I will ask Irogama first how she's doing. If you can turn on your microphone, but if you can't, that's also okay. Let us know, Irogama, and welcome.
I'm sorry. Taking that with phone.
That's okay, no problem. And we know that you are possibly with your kids too. Today is Mother's Day for the Mexicans, so happy Mother's Day, Irogama. Lorena Benavides. How are you, Lorena? Can you hear us? Maybe she also cannot turn her microphone on. That's okay. Mayra Galeano, can you hear us? And if you can turn on your mic and camera, there you go, Mayra. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Well, good morning, California.
Oh, California, nice. We're in the West Coast. West Coast, the best coast. Okay.
Okay, so my name is Mayra Galeano. I was born in Los Angeles, California, but I grew up in Mexico.
Awesome.
So, and I came back when I was 17. So my parents took me to Mexico when I was 7. They were self-employees, and I have been around for, I would say, 6 months into Zooms, but I'm not a secret agent. It's just that my mom has terminal cancer right now, and she's in hospice at home.
That's better.
Of her. However, I took the decision to switch to Experior, and the reason why is because I was looking for another IMO. I was with Experior Financial Group, just working as a referral partner, basically. And I trust, other person, basically my clients. But the way that I used to refer people was because I'm also a licensed esthetician. I have been an esthetician for 16 years. So I really have good clients. Most of them are self-employees or business owners, especially real estate agents.
Oh.
So I was referring small business people, and I believe in a lot of products, not only IULs. My husband and I, we already had an IUL for since 2013. So we believe in that product, but at the same time, I noticed that basically they wanted me to push hard on just one product that, in my opinion, not everybody needs or can afford. It's not for everybody, in my opinion. So that's my background about life insurance. But the reason why I got licensed is because my mom has been dealing with cancer for the last 10 years. And she was self-employed. She didn't save a dime. And it was a hard thing to go through and see as a family. And one day I told my husband, you know what? We should look into it. I'm going to get licensed, because he got licensed way before but he never did anything. He just renewed his license. So I told my husband, you know what? I'm going to get licensed. And that's what I did. And basically, that's how I got into the industry. But I was very afraid of talking to people about, life insurance and all that topic, because I was going through a lot with my own mom. But then, last year I decided to, I'm going to do this. I'm going to switch careers. And the reason why is because I learned so much about hospice, about a lot of stuff that I wasn't aware of. And now I want to share especially with my community, which is the Hispanic community, because they are not prepared. They don't even have term. I talk to a lot of people, and they don't even have a policy in place. And it's very important, especially for self-employees.
It is, and thank you, Mayra. And I want to wish us a very, very happy Mother's Day to your mother. Dile feliz de las madres de mi parte, okay? And so that's awesome. I also make a note of some of the things you were mentioning here, because you have, a lot of realtors. I can help you recruit the realtors and get them dual license here. I also hold a real estate license, but I don't use it. I don't show homes or any of that. I use it as well because I am just a referral agent. Because you know how when we are doing a financial needs analysis and everything, we get to know when people are planning to buy a home or they sell a home and all that stuff. So then I can refer to others. It allows me two things. It allows me, one is to get a commission legally on the real estate if I ever send it. But secondly, it gives me the power as well and the credibility with realtors to get them dual license, because I let them know you can maybe do the reversal. You can get licensed in life insurance, okay? So I can have some meetings with you, Myra, and some of them, and let them know, stay focused on your real estate if you want to stay focused on that. But now you could refer clients to Myra, and then there could be a split commission with you. So our insurance is a lot more stable than real estate, as you know, okay? So don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I can let you know how we can do a presentation for your realtors. And you'll be surprised, a lot of them maybe already do a license, okay? And so we can move them over here into Experior as their IMO, and that is going to power your business. So that's great. And Rogelio Arellano, how are you? Can you hear us, Rogelio? Maybe Rogelio also cannot turn on his microphone, but excellent. We have 10 more minutes, and I thank everyone for being here, for sharing. Do you have any question where I can help you? Where I can help you in any way on the business side? Otherwise, I can share some of the things that I did in the Heartbeat last night that I think you all are gonna like. So onboarding is a very important thing, okay? And also approach. So one of the things that I started doing it's gonna be almost a year ago, when I was presenting the opportunity, I was just presenting the opportunity, of course, with power, with energy and everything on Zoom, mostly, because that's how I do it. You can even do it on person, of course. But I noticed a big spike, okay, on, let's call it closing, but it's recruiting these advisors, okay? The moment that I sent an email immediately after I finished the presentation. So in the Heartbeat app, all of you must have access to it. Otherwise, let me know and I'll give you access. Last night around midnight, I uploaded my follow-up email, okay, template that I sent to someone right after I hang up the Zoom call. Immediately, I have it already. I use an application, but that's a different story. You can just copy from the Heartbeat, because I have a template immediately that I can just, boom, type something on my Gmail and it sends the template. So if you go to the Heartbeat app, you will find it, because in announcements, I put in where to go directly. So it's going to be either on business opportunity or on onboarding. So one of the templates, okay, is the one that says, hey, it was great meeting you on Zoom. You can obviously change the ending by saying it was great meeting you by phone or at the restaurant yesterday, and copy the whole thing that I have there. And I send it to their email. And I made some notes there, on how I get their emails, because mostly I do everything online. So when people book into my Calendly to hear the opportunity, I obviously immediately Calendly collects the email for me, right? But also another thing that I do when I'm presenting the opportunity, especially in the USA, because there is no sign-up fees in the USA, is that I share the back office with them just to let them know how awesome is the back office. Obviously, without showing the side of our clients, right? Because that's confidential information. But in the other stuff that I'm showing them, and I tell them, hey, you want to know how easy it is for you to invite others? Let me show you. And so that's when I ask them for their email in case I didn't have it on Calendly. And I go, it's as easy as this. I'm going to send you the invitation right now so you know how easy it is. And there is no sign-up fees. And I send them the link immediately. Most people will go in and sign up because I've let them know that it's a free trial. They'll be able to navigate the back office. We're going to invite them to the groups. So two things that I want to put an emphasis on is the follow-up email after the presentation is so powerful because people, are curious and they are going to start navigating the links and they might even start following the social media. And so if they start following the social media, video after video is going to be popping up. And especially if they are licensed agents, they're going to, like it, and it's going to increase your ability to close them. But also after someone signs up, you will see it too in the heartbeat. I have a welcome template. And for now, I uploaded the American side, but I'm going to upload the Canadian side too on the weekend. If you don't see it on the weekend, any of you can send me a reminder on Telegram. Please don't be shy. So I try to, update the links every 3 months in case a video has changed. But when someone joins me directly, those of you who have recruited someone, you know that you get an alarm immediately when someone joins your team, and it tells you your team is growing. So that is coming from Experior. And at that moment, I go like, okay, someone joined me. So I go to my templates and I send them a welcome email that has steps. Okay. Really, I believe it's really good steps. Some people tell me, oh, maybe it's a little too much and overwhelming, but I don't judge people. I go like, some people will follow them and will like them. And others, they're going to receive a call. In my case, because I share codes with Annie, she helps me a lot with that, with Executive Director Annie. But if you're bringing your own people, you can still explain it. But I don't assume that people are going to be overwhelmed. I'd rather give them more information than less information. And so when I send that welcome email, it helps a lot for them. And those that are, self-motivated and that follow instructions and checklists, sometimes give you a great surprise that they upload all their documents on their own and they are just going on their own. So please check those two templates that are there, are going to help you a lot, because the follow-up after the presentation is incredibly powerful. And the other one, and they're going to start sharing with their friends, because if they like it, they're going to forward the email and they're going to start forwarding things. So you're hedging on them to start promoting you and to start convincing other people. Okay. The other thing that I want to mention is, if you don't have a lot of experience yet or confidence into explaining the opportunity and closing it by by recruiting others, please hedge on us, okay? Because sometimes we might be either thinking we can do it better, but there are things that I can never. Well, I don't know if never, but it's not my forte, and it's not my priority to try to explain the advanced, financial techniques. For that, I could call someone like Steve or Jeannie, or Janice, depending on the client. That's why we hedge on each other. But one thing that I know that I am really good at, and that I am here to help you and also Annie, is on explaining the opportunity. Sometimes the advisors with more experience, okay, are the ones that try to explain the opportunity, or they might be going shy and not bringing them to others. But trust me, if you are like, hey, I know you for years, let's say in the case that someone knows agents for so long, and I'm here, but let me bring my business partner Hernan and show you, because he's been able to bring over, professionals like Steve Jan is with 30 years of experience.
That's what I did the other day, Hernan. When
That's the best thing that you did ever, Steve. You're gonna recruit
by the way,
so many.
I just don't want to interrupt, but I got to jump off. I'm actually going to do a Zoom with Annie at 11. She's got some trust case she wants me to jump in on with her.
Thank you so much.
So I'm just going to jump in, find out what it is, and just say goodbye to everybody. And everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for everything. And you're doing the great thing to introduce me to your people. So many people, put me to work. Okay, we'll build you an army.
You are great at that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Steve. So I'll stay with the rest of you for 4 more minutes here, but I just want to let you know that, okay? Hedge on us, and we will help you until the moment that you're like, okay, get out of my way, we don't need you. And so, Kirsten, I want to go back to you just for 3 minutes because I actually have another call back with you.
I can do it in 2 minutes. And I just took notes in my email to myself. The first thing though, the most important thing in recruiting is there are 5 different things. And I've actually been really good at recruiting in the past, but now I'm way better because I'm picking up methodologies from here. And the first thing I wanted to say though, guys, there's also a question of timing, because when I was desperate on a Friday night to change my situation, I thought there'd be no way that same night I could change my situation. And I actually prayed and God answered my prayer with Hernan. However, and I joined in 15 minutes. And part of that is because I went into a Facebook group with life insurance agents. I didn't even post because I didn't want my IMO to know I was thinking of leaving. I saw another agent say, what's the best IMO? I don't know any of them. And I sent out a message to 5 people who responded, including Hernan. He was the only one that got back to me, and he was the right one. So part of it is, you put yourself out there and you don't know what the timing of the other person is. But just to emphasize that even more, I found out recently, going back through my LinkedIn, Annie had invited me a 1.5 years ago to this opportunity, and I told her I wasn't interested. I was happy. So part of it is just constant activity, and eventually the right people come to you. But there are some specific things that you can do that are really make it even better. And that is, first of all, Jose Gracirena said, have 50 conversations a day if you want your pipeline to be full, either recruits and or policies. And so Janice, I've been talking to Janice since we got our MBA together, since 2005 often, and I've always liked Janice, but I saw nothing that we could do together because she was like health insurance, group companies, whatever, and Janice, but I liked her and I kept talking to her. Well, this time I didn't have a goal other than she was one of my 50 conversations. And I literally reached out to her to find out what she was doing, what was interesting to her. And that happened to be the right timing. Okay. So one of the things is, honestly, you just have conversations with people, no goal except to find out what's on their mind. So 50, lots of conversations, look for agents, but also there are, as we can hear, there are certain IMOs, MGAs that are easy to recruit from. American Income Life, WFG, Primerica. Those are hot. If they're a former current agent, they're having a bad time. Don't be afraid to reach out to them directly. And then the other thing is, as Hernan said, don't go it alone though. Like at another IMO, I recruited 79 people. I was like the queen of recruiting, but like none of them really stuck. And I don't know what I did to do that. Right now, I don't take it for granted. I had Janice, I got her on with Hernan, and then I got her on with Annie. So I didn't try to be like the big hero and like, let me do it by myself. No, I got help. And then finally, the other thing about recruiting is just to realize that every client you get, every person in front of you probably could benefit from making more money. And so not necessarily, it's kind of like what Hernan said and Ginny, it's also about, or not just Ginny, another one of you was talking about real estate partners. That's really important because there are lots of people who maybe might go, ooh, life insurance. But if you just make it easy, oh, you know what? You just get a life insurance license, because unfortunately, if you refer someone to me right now, I'm not even allowed to give you more than a $25 gift card from Panera. But if you get a license, then anybody you refer to me, I can write your agent code in there and you will be able to receive commissions legally. And then once they get into it, trust me, they're going to want to do this more than just as a referral agent. So those are the main things that I've used. And the other thing is just finally, there are people I recruited, like I've been working on for 3 years and I forgot about. And there's a guy, Trevante, he like reached out to me. But again, I didn't get greedy. Hernan spoke to him on his own. I wasn't even involved. And Hernan said to me, you know, it's up to you, Kirsten. If you want to bring him in at the same commission level as you, it's your choice. And like I did that. And the guy got so happy. He brought in another guy already. He's really excited. And it made a huge difference because just like Hernan and Annie valued me more than other places I was at, just the fact that I value these people that came to me, you know, I'm only going to get like 5% override right now, but Hernan's already pushing me to become executive director. So there's going to come a time when I'm going to get overrides on them. But also just remembering this collaboration thing, there's plenty to go around. So if you think of it like that, like how many people could I get into this amazing world and make their life better? That kind of a mindset, I think, also goes a long way. So that's I kind of went over the time, but thanks for giving me the chance to share those ideas that I got from all of you.
Thank you so much for sharing. You're doing incredible, and I am very proud of all of you. So thank you for being in this call. If you are watching this somewhere in social media, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Try to go through the whole video because we have so many examples of, you know, the agents that we have here now at the Icebreakers Team of Champions with Experior Financial Group, and listen to their stories. We know that we're going to be able to help you, to empower you, reach the next level of your personal growth and also your business goals. So with that, I say thanks to everyone. And until next time, this is Hernan Rodriguez, Executive Director with Experior Financial Group from Vancouver. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Certified Badass. For more awesome content, like and subscribe now.
We are the Icebreakers team. Our team writes more business per licensed agent than any other Experior Financial Group team in both the US and Canada. We are also the fastest growing team within Experior Financial Group in both the USA and Canada. We have full modern training in English, Spanish, and French. For more information on how to power up your life insurance business through joining the Icebreakers Team of Champions, contact the person that sent you this video or scan the QR code. Thank you for watching and see you next time.